Today's video will take you back in time. A time where pizza was fresh and soda was always cold. A time before gaming went mainstream.
First, let's move on. It was The Sims, then Minecraft and Pokemon Go. Actually, if you're my age, first it was Pac-Man, but never mind. Now the latest video game craze is Fortnite.
It's a phenomenon.
The online video game that's so popular, the Fortnite World Cup Finals was hosted here in New York this past summer.
Let's now talk Fortnite, shall we?
Called Fortnite is drawing millions of players.
It's called Fortnite Battle Royale.
Hey, have you played the newest Fortnite season yet? Jeez, man, I'm really hungry. You know what sounds good right now? Some pepperoni pizza with some gluten-free crust. And, on the side, some good old classic games. Hey Siri, call Pizza Hut.
Hi.
Hello, I'd like to order a pepperoni pizza with gluten-free crust and be sure you add in the extra greens. Oh wow, talk about prime time delivery.
Pizza time!
Oh,
Extra greens just like you promised.
hey, that was pretty fast.
What seems to be the deal with your Joy-Con, sir?
My Joy-Cons?
Here you go.
Okay. Well, did a good job getting it here.
So, what does N64 even really mean? The N, of course, stands for Nintendo, and 64 means that it ran on 64-bit hardware. 64-bit means that it can store and run more processors. Basically, it can hold and do more things efficiently than its predecessors, the NES and the SNES, which were 8 and 16-bit. This allowed polygons with different textures to come together to create 3D images. Along with its visual advancements, this also added more detailed music. Donkey Kong Country made the most of the Super Nintendo's 16-bit music chips, but the N64 improved in every way, mainly making the songs longer and being able to hold more data, including more instruments. But what made this console better than the PS1, Sega Saturn, or Atari 3600? Well, it had a variety of different models. Aside from the special Pokemon editions, it had what's called the Fantastic series. Nintendo came out with 4 variations: Atomic Purple, Smoke, Fire Orange, and Jungle Green, and a variety of different colored controllers that match. These colors and variations made the N64 stand out from the black and gray competition and making them an iconic staple of 90s gaming.
CRT purists believe that the real way to play the N64 is on its same generation TV. If you still don't know what I'm talking about, go look around in your grandma's basement or attic and you'll see a screen with a giant box on the back. You might also be able to tell just by this one sound. Golly, is that blood coming out of my ears? We at Cheesy Squeezy believe this is the best way to go. Playing the N64 on the hardware it was designed for makes the experience so much better than playing on the stretched out flat screen. For someone that didn't have the opportunity to grow up in the 90s, playing on the CRT really feels like a gateway to good games, good friends, good pizza. Sure, the PS1 may have had that big fancy disc drive and all the popularity with the hip kids, but one of its biggest flaws was the lack of multiplayer. The Nintendo 64 has double the controller ports of the PS1. This means double the friends and double the enjoyment. Sure, playing Mario Kart with 2 people is fun, but you add only 2 more to the mix and people lose their crap and things get intense. This is what made the Nintendo 64 the biggest college console of the decade. People could bring their system within the school and have a great time with all their friends in the comfort of their dorm. That couldn't be said with any other console at the time. The game selection on the N64 is probably its most identifying feature, other than its Trident controller, of course. The jump from 2D to 3D was a big step in gaming franchises, and with Mario and Zelda, it was the biggest game changer. The launch game, Super Mario 64, kicked things off great and sold so many systems. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is arguably the best game ever made. 007 GoldenEye brought the first-person shooter into the comfort of people's homes, making it accepted as the best way to play multiplayer shooters. Banjo-Kazooie formalized the puzzle-solving 3D platform genre. Smash 64 created a start to the best fighting game franchises ever. Mario Kart 64 brought the high-speed frantic madness from the Super Nintendo to 3D, making things even more wild and competitive. And oh, last but not least, LEGO Racers. Wait, never mind, this game is just a loss. What's in the script?
So, why do people still talk about the N64 today? Well, to start, we live in a nostalgic era where pop culture is thriving and being a nerd is now somewhat accepted. People like to discuss what their favorite Ghostbuster is, why people love Crystal Pepsi, and how time travel really doesn't work in Back to the Future. All of these things are coming back to millennials and are now mainstream. People are reliving their childhood and it's great. Well, at least for us. Also, the N64 had really great game design. There are many games today that have an impact on gaming as a whole, most notably Fortnite, Minecraft, and Call of Duty. These games are popular because they reach many audiences. N64 had those qualities too. Great game design, great story, great voice acting. Well, on second thought, maybe not that last one.
Do a barrel roll!
The N64, lastly, is also still popular because it's still fairly easy to find. You can get one in just about any game exchange or pawn shop near you. Games are relatively cheap depending on supply and demand. Plus, people really don't know how to price games online, so sometime you could find a good deal on eBay or Amazon even.
To us, the N64 is more than just a retro vision into the 90s. When I hold an N64 controller in my hand, I get transported back to an era that, although may now be passed away, lives on in 64-bit polygons and controller inserts. When I play the N64, it feels like I'm being tucked in bed with a blanket of surreal fun. Life is confusing, just like Banjo-Kazooie, but the thought of finding that golden jigsaw piece keeps me going every time. 4 controller ports are all the ports this system needs because the N64 is a system you can only truly experience with your closest friends. Time seems to stop when I pop in one of my favorite game cards and flick that power switch on. To put it in layman's terms, the N64 is simply timeless, and the hard blistering joystick will always have a special mark on my thumb.
Happy birthday, N64. May your ports be plentiful and your extension pack be extended and packed. Can't believe it's been 23 years. If you like what you saw today, please be sure to squeeze that subscribe button. It really helps us out a lot and it lets you know when we have new videos for you to watch. So for now, we'd like to thank you very much for watching and hopefully we'll see you on the next one. Bye!